Hi guys, and today I've got for you the Suzuki S-Cross. Now you remember this car was actually launched in December 2021 and I did review the car back then. You can watch the review, it's on this channel, I'll put the link in the description below. But that one, when it was introduced, was a 1.4 with a mild 48 volt hybrid system. You still get that car, but you get that with a manual gearbox. If you want the automatic now, either two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, you have to get this one, which is the new for 2023 drivetrain, previously seen on the Suzuki Vitara. This is the full hybrid, so it's basically a 140 volt system. Some people call it a strong hybrid, but Suzuki calling it the full hybrid. So this is what you get now. So there's two trim levels. You get the Motion and you get the Ultra. You get two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive both available with the full hybrid, but the manual is only available with the mild hybrid. That's all very confusing, but I'll put the specs on the screen. Let's have a quick look around the car before we take a look inside and then take it for a drive. So all Suzukis in the model lineup now have some form of electrification, whether it's a mild hybrid or a full hybrid like this car, but they all have it now. So this hybrid system was actually introduced on the Vitara, and they found that 40% of sales went for the full hybrid versus 60% for the mild hybrid. It gets a 1.5 litre four-cylinder engine that combines with the electric motor, which is dubbed the motor generator unit. Some call this a strong hybrid, Suzuki call it a full hybrid. Anyway, it's a hybrid. The total power output is about 115 brake horsepower and 138 Newton meters of torque. That gives you the 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration time of 12.7 for the front wheel drive version and 13.5, a little bit slower for the heavier all grip, which is the all wheel drive. Now fuel economy is very good, in fact probably one of the best in class at up to 54.3 miles per gallon, which is fantastic for a family SUV, and emissions can be as low as 118 grams per kilometer. Prices for these start at 26,749, rising to 31,549, but the standard kit, which I'll put the specs on the screen, is excellent, and pretty much everything is standard, including those 17-inch alloy wheels. About the only option that you get is the metallic paint, which you can see on this car, which is a 550 pound option. Plus you also get something called Suzuki Connect, which is basically an app on your phone, which is free for the first year, and then there's a subscription after that. So you get two modes for the hybrid, so we'll explore all of that. So Eco and Standard. Eco basically focuses on economy, and then there's modes for all-wheel drive and all of that stuff as well. Other thing to mention is it has the gear shift is actually what they call an automated manual, which is the clutch is automated, the gear changes are done. So, you know, to be honest with you, it feels pretty much like a torque converter automatic. It's we'll see that on the go, but basically it's kind of clever in the sense that it's a manual, but it fills in the gaps between the gear changes by using the power from the MGU, that motor as well. So let's have a quick look at the car. We did a full review of the interior with the original car back in December, but just check it out quickly before we take it for a drive. Now the one thing that happens when you go for the full hybrid is that you lose a little bit of boot space. So whereas before, when you open that, you find quite a deep cavity in the mild hybrid, and this one not so much. You do get a few little compartments for your tire repair kit and what have you, but you lose that double floor facility. So basically you've got the one floor now. But having said that, that's still pretty spacious, and you've got the split folding seats, so plenty of room when you need it, plus pockets on each side, so that's all really handy. All right, let's see if the rear passenger space has been affected at all. Here we are in the back of the car. No real issues. And the back here is pretty much as it was before. Nice seats back here. Not a lot that you get here, but you know, that's all you really need. The skylight is really good. It gives a nice sense of airiness in here. I'm slightly encroached upon my headspace here, but then I am on the tall side, but generally it's fine. So with this, I would actually remove that, actually, to be honest with you. But knee room is good, leg room is good, and feet, no problem at all. So that's all good. Let's see what the front is like. So here we are in the S-Cross in the front. It's all very familiar, to be honest with you. Not a lot has changed in this car, so there's no big surprises. This is a top spec car, so you've got the starter button down here. You also notice there's an eco mode there. Eco mode basically will reduce the air conditioning modes and will focus more on economy. So we're not going to use that today. We're going to leave it in the normal mode. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's a 360 camera, so it really shows that off just like the other one did. That will settle down when you're ready to go. There's your vents, there's your AC controls, climate control. You've got space there, you've got USB, heated seats on this car. There's your automatic gearbox. Here you've got the drive modes. We'll talk a little bit more about these on the go, but these are mostly for off-road. You mostly just use it in automatic mode, although we'll try sports. There's a couple of cup holders and a cubby box in there with another power supply, nice seats, glove box, pretty deep actually. So that's all pretty handy, that's all pretty good. It's all pretty straightforward, it is all recognizable, and you know, it hasn't changed significantly. But what has changed obviously is the drivetrain. So the main thing to do is, I think, to take it for a drive and see what it feels like on the go. Now, as mentioned, this is a full hybrid system now, so that's the difference between this and the car that we reviewed previously. So it's supposed to, the motor is supposed to give you a little bit of extra support, a little bit of extra torque to the engine, which of course is a slightly bigger capacity engine than the other one. So let's go straight into sports mode and then punch it. There you go. Yeah, I mean, changed a bit earlier there. Let's actually go down into manual, because it's got that automated gear shift thing which uses the paddle. So this is now, I'm going to second, so now it's holding the gear. Oh, and 6,000 RPM, the limiter cuts in and says no, can't do that anymore. The change up is not too bad, change down not too bad. I mean, it's supposed to fill in the gap between the changes, so where it does automatically lifts the clutch, if you like. It doesn't have a physical clutch pedal, but you see what I mean, and it will change gear. And the motor is supposed to fill in the gap in that change where you have that dip in the revs, or the dip in the torque, but the motor is supposed to cut in there and then actually change it. I can't say that I'm feeling that much, but I'm not. There you go. Yeah, there's still a slight pull, but as it's changing gear. What I could say is performance is pretty decent. It's not quick, this is not a sports car, it's not meant to be. But I'll tell you what, around these twisty little roads, it holds itself very, very well. We are in sports mode, and in sports mode, the drivetrain is geared up to provide power to the rear, so that you've got grip as well. So it's front and rear, so it provides you good traction, good grip when you need it to. Honestly though, I'm going to put it back into auto, because I found that there isn't a huge difference, because obviously the gear shift is manual anyway. And actually I'm going to put the gear shift back into drive, because ultimately I think that's what most people will do, is that they'll use that the novelty of the paddle shifts once, and then they're going, yeah, well, let's just leave it automatic, because that's fine. And I think people will do the same thing with the drive modes. You leave it in automatic rather than use sports, even though we are in an environment for sports, you know. But overall, it's an entertaining enough drive. It's remarkable how well this handles, how good the poise is, even on the twisty bits, despite the fact that it is a family SUV. It's a capacious thing for ferrying your family around. That's what it's meant to do. But, you know, you can have a little bit of fun. Don't get me wrong. It is not a sports car. It's not trying to be a sports car. It's perfectly honest about what it is. It's a practical little family SUV that majors on comfort, practicality, and reliability. But when I'm confronted by an S-Bed like this, I can turn it in. Steering response is very good, no fuel, quite light steering, but responsive, accurate, and the front is literally doing, it's very, very secure and very faithful to my command. So actually, it's an impressive little thing. All-round visibility is very good, not an issue. What I've done is I've put the headrest up at the back, as you saw when I got into the back. That's now intruding a little bit on the rear view through that window, but not a major thing, and I'll put that down when I get out of the car again. Again, the ride is very, very good, not an issue. So far, I haven't found there to be any concern at all with the ride. Sometimes you get a little bit of, either you get some wallow in something that is geared for off-roading, and it kind of is, or you may get a bit of stiffness, but actually I think it's very well judged, it's very well compromised, and I don't think that there is any issue whatsoever with it. Now in front of me there's a display on the instrument panel which does the whole thing that, you know, hybrids do, where it shows you there's the engine, it shows you the engine is running, and you can see the arrows that tell you that. It shows you the battery on this now, at the moment it's got 2 bars left on it, because I've been using the performance, and of course the battery has been helping with that. And it shows you the motor in the middle, so it shows you where the power is going and what's being used. So at the moment everything is being used because I've drained the battery a little bit. It's very hard to detect if you're trying to figure out whether it's using the power, whether it's using the battery or whatever. Okay, so we are off-roading in a Suzuki S-Cross, where a normal Suzuki S-Cross would probably never go. But this is what we're doing today. So we've got snow mode on, we've got lock on, and we're just crawling up this hill. No issue whatsoever. But you can hear the systems working, so you can hear all the electronics sort of doing their thing. So we've gone uphill, we've gone downhill. I mean, honestly, your Suzuki Swift could have done this, let's be honest. But having said that, the ease with which it's doing this is impressive, and it's just reassuring to know that if you have a car like this, then you can do whatever you need to do if you find yourself in a situation like this. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. We just went up a very slippery hill there, and we saw a couple of cars in front of us really struggling. And the thing is, you lift off and you lose momentum, so then you get bogged down. So you just keep your foot down. That's how you do it. That's what I did. Anyway, we've done that bit. Well done. So far, so good. So just to recap a little bit about the car, I mean, it is an all-grip car, so you can get it as two-wheel drive, which is front-wheel drive, or you get it all-grip, which is effectively all-wheel drive, and then you get the modes down here. You get the automatic mode, which is basically, what it will do is it will drive it in front-wheel drive most of the time until it feels it needs grip, and then it will use the rear grip as well. It will automatically do that. You've got Sport, in which is more biased towards giving you all-wheel grip all the time. That's for improved grip, traction, handling as well, so cornering speeds and stuff like that. Then you've got Snow, which is basically slippery conditions, so that's what we're using today for this. So that's actually full-time all-wheel drive. And then when it's muddy and it's very slippery, for that you've got Lock mode, which effectively is a limited slip differential, and that will lock up the wheels to maximize the torque to the wheels that have got grip. So fortunately, these are the systems that we've got on the car. They're perfectly adequate for a gentle drive to the countryside, as we're doing today at the moment. And so overall then, what do we think? I think it's another great option in an already terrific offering from Suzuki. Great little package, great little car, very practical. I'm sorry, I'm just going to enjoy this S-Bend again, because it's actually really good. Downhill, good brakes. The brakes are linear, and it's a slightly banked corner, but it responds so well to the inputs and to the surface as well, that actually you're like, well, why not just enjoy the car a little bit, which is what I'm doing, which is why I've stopped telling you about the car, which is what I should be doing. Overall, conclusion then, very good car. I think it's another great offering, and I think that with the fact that you can reduce the emissions so much with this car, and also you can get better economy with it, it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. So for a lot of people, this would probably be the choice. So I would say, if you can stretch a little bit extra to get the full hybrid, it's the way to go. So there you go. There's my review on the Suzuki S-Cross. Let me know what you think of it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here, or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.